Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah both in poll-bound Gujarat. The Prime Minister was on a hectic one-day visit and he's taken the Modi government's 8-year report card back to his home turf. In 8 years of the NDA government, the Prime Minister says he's done nothing that would shame the citizens of this country. He said that he's done nothing for you to hang your head in shame. He also said that he's been trying to build the India that was dreamt of by Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Now, in yet another outreach effort by the Prime Minister to woo the Patidar community in Gujarat. Now, this is an important community because this community felt alienated ahead of the 2017 Assembly elections. Now, the Prime Minister today in another outreach has inaugurated a multi-speciality hospital that was built by the Patidar community in Rajkot and said that they were worthy of applause. This is a community that is crucial ahead of the election. It accounts for 12% of Gujarat's population. Here's a report on the Prime Minister's visit.
A grand welcome for Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his home turf. Months ahead of the Assembly elections expected later this year. The PM's one-day visit focused on a major outreach to the influential Patidar community, which constitute about 12 to 14% of Gujarat's population and wields significant influence over the state politics. The Prime Minister's first stop, a newly built multi-speciality hospital in Rajkot, managed by the Shri Patel Seva Samaj. Referencing two big sons of Gujarat, the Prime Minister claimed no effort had been spared in the service of the nation.
पूज्य बापू और सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल की इस पवित्र धरती के संस्कार है कि 8 साल में गलती से भी ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने दिया है, न ऐसा कुछ किया है जिसके कारण आपको या देश के किसी नागरिक को अपना सर झुकाना पड़े.
Prime Minister said the newly built hospital will cater to the healthcare needs of people of Saurashtra region who earlier had to migrate for healthcare facilities. Notably, Saurashtra region has 48 out of 182 assembly seats in Gujarat. At an event in Rajkot, the Prime Minister attacked the Congress party, stating the central government before 2014 rejected many projects of Gujarat.
આ ડબલ એન્જિનની સરકારે ગુજરાતના વિકાસને નવી ઊંચાઈ પર પહોંચાડવા માટેનું કામ આદર્યું છે ભાઈઓ. 2014 પહેલા ગુજરાતમાં એવા અનેક પ્રોજેક્ટ હતા કે દિલ્હીમાં એવી સરકાર હતી કે અહીંથી પ્રોજેક્ટ જાય ને તો એમને પ્રોજેક્ટ નહોતો દેખાતો, એમને અંદર મોદી જ દેખાય.
Prime Minister Modi later attended a seminar of leaders of various cooperative institutions on the subject Sahkar Se Samriddhi, which was participated by over 7,000 representatives from various cooperative institutions. PM in Gandhinagar also inaugurated a nano fertilizer plant in a bid to provide farmers with the means to boost productivity and increase their income. The state of Gujarat is expected to go to polls in December this year. The BJP, which has ruled the state for the past 24 years, expects a return to power. But the emergence of AAP as a political power in the state and the discontent Patidar community pose a fresh challenge for the party in upcoming elections. Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Joining us on NDTV, Ajay Umat, the editor-in-chief of Nav Gujarat Samay. He's a senior journalist based in Gujarat. We have Rohan Gupta of the Congress, PKD Nambiar, political analyst who supports the BJP, and Siddharth Sharma, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you all very much for joining us. It's been an interesting one-day hectic event for the Prime Minister to Gujarat, and of course the outreach to the Patidar community is the big headline. But the Prime Minister has also said some very interesting things, invoking the NDA government's 8-year report card, telling people that he hasn't done anything that they can hang their head in shame. It's a very tall claim that is being made by the Prime Minister. I want to begin by asking you, Ajay Umat, as somebody who understands the nitty-gritties of the politics of Gujarat. It is election season, so everything is in bounds to say, and a lot is said and done. But what did you make of some of the comments that were made by the Prime Minister today?
Number one, that Prime Minister Modi wanted to woo Patidar votes in Saurashtra region. Last time he was trying to woo the tribal community in Dahod region. So basically, my observation is that after the entry of Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat, Prime Minister Modi is focusing more on healthcare, on education, on cooperative department, and on tribal votes, because he feels that last time BJP got only double-digit votes, double-digit seats in Gujarat. So this time they don't want to take any chance. And last time there were issues like Hardik Patel, Jignesh Mewani, and Alpesh Thakur. So this time, out of these, two people are already in Bharatiya Janata Party, and they don't want to take any chance this time, and they want to break the record of Madhav Solanki's regime of 149 seats out of 182. So this time BJP is trying its best. They have changed Vijay Rupani to Bhupendra Patel only because to woo Patidar voters in Saurashtra, in Central Gujarat, and in North Gujarat. And now he is trying to woo tribal voters, and with the help of this cooperative sector, cooperative banks, cooperative society, IFCO, and other programs, because they constitute almost 1.65 crore voters in Gujarat. So BJP is trying their best to get maximum seats and doesn't want to take chance the way they had got 99 seats last time.
I think that's a very interesting assessment. PKD Nambiar, do you want to come in here? Because we all know that there was a fair bit of disgruntlement. The Patidar community felt alienated. It was largely thanks to the agitation launched by Hardik Patel ahead of the 2017 elections. Do you think Prime Minister Modi this time batting on the front foot to garner all the support that he can as far as the Patidar community is concerned? Is that going to be one of those areas where the BJP needs to give that extra push?
Well, Rishika, as far as I understand, the way I look at the politics, and especially with the politics of BJP, they don't look at one community, and the Prime Minister, such a big leader, such a tall leader of this country or in the globe, he don't require to go and appease a particular community. And please note that every day or every second day there is an election do take place in India. So the politics of a development today, when we are almost at the time where we are celebrating the eighth glorious year of Modi government, I think what we need to look at it, that what is the India today means. An India of 8 years of Modi means a transformed India, a confident India, a corruption-free India, from a ruling to a seva as a concept. It's a completely a transformed India. We all Indians feel greatly proud internationally today. I think rather than looking at Gujarat or for that matter to Himachal or many other, Telangana, many other states which are going to be in poll, today is the day we need to look at what we have achieved in the last 8 years. These last 8 years, the governance has reached to every household. More than 40 crore people have become a part of. Just imagine that 7-8 years back, there were 40 crore people were, जैसे कहते हैं ना हिंदी में वर्जित करके रखा थे. They were not even a part of. They were not even having a bank account. Just imagine there are more than almost 400 million households who are not having a gas connection. Just imagine that in this country, more than 30% of villages were not having electricity connection. You and me sitting in Delhi in a wonderful AC comfort zone. Just imagine that not having a power cut for 1 hour, we all will get the heat of it. And in India of 2022, we do not have. Just imagine that. We're not having electricity in many of the villages.
You've also cited the 8-year report card, pretty much like what the Prime Minister did today in Gujarat, sort of listing the achievements of the NDA government. And this is not a new strategy. The Prime Minister has very confidently invoked the work that the BJP has done at the centre and state level, often during state elections as well. So this isn't the first time that we're hearing of this. It's coming in pretty much on the eve of that 8-year mark. But I want to sort of just shift our focus, Siddharth Sharma, to some of the things that the Prime Minister said. Very tall statement to make that in the last 8 years I've done nothing or endeavored to do nothing, so we hang our head in shame. I mean, there has been increase in this culture of hate that we've been talking about. There has been a lot of polarization that has happened. Inflation is a huge cause of concern. The state of the economy is a huge cause of concern. The handling of the second wave of COVID. I mean, there are multiple questions that can also be asked as far as the Prime Minister's track record is concerned, if he is going to invoke it in the manner that he has.
Rishika, there is something called as politics of emotion versus policy of governance. The Prime Minister is a master at invoking emotions. When he invokes emotions amongst people, it is good for the nation, but that doesn't substitute for governance. Everybody knows that on most of the human indices, Gujarat lags today. For example, the female malnutrition, Gujarat lags.
Okay.
When the foreign dignitaries visit India, they are not shown Gujarat schools, but rather they are shown Delhi schools. That shows that emotion-wise, sermonizing something is nice,
okay,
but that doesn't substitute for good governance. Now, the problem with BJP is that it sees the people of India as subjects on whom it can sermonize. Aam Aadmi Party sees people of India as citizens and seeks their participation. Now, the people of Gujarat in the coming elections are going to have an option where the Delhi model, where the participatory model of governance delivers to people, is going to be offered to them. And as Ajay very rightly said, this is an issue for BJP. That is why they are going out, outreaching people of different communities.
Rohan Gupta, in this particular case, especially when we're talking about Prime Minister Modi batting on the front foot to woo the Patidar community, the inauguration of the hospital in Rajkot is one among the many such outreach programs that the Prime Minister himself has participated in the last few months. I think the maximum damage that was done was by the agitation that was launched by Hardik Patel. In that sense, do you believe that this is something that is now going to hurt the Congress?
No, I don't think so, Rishika, because by any statement you cannot change the history. The agitation, the Patidar agitations, the atrocities done on Patidar, they haven't forgotten
but
it.
But the person who spearheaded this particular agitation was with the Congress and he's left just ahead of the election. You essentially will fail to capitalize on that sentiment again.
No, absolutely not, Rishika. My point is that whether Hardik leaves or not, that doesn't change the fact that there were atrocities on Patidars in BJP regime. Prime Minister today told that I have not done anything, that we have to hang our head in shame. Now, who will decide that level? If Patidar community, if they had to agitate against BJP government and there were atrocities where 14 Patidar youth were killed, I don't know whether for this incident you can hang your head in shame. Whether note ban, where the small and medium industries of Gujarat, they had to close their shop. I don't know whether you have to hang your head in shame for this incident. GST against the small traders of Gujarat. Farm laws. So I can count at least 10 such incidences. I think you have also counted few of them, where as an Indian we feel that these shouldn't have been done. Whether by the standards of Prime Minister, you have to hang your head in shame, that you have to ask Prime Minister. But at the end of the day, I am also from Gujarat. Okay. If you see today, the Adivasis, the tribal belt, which has supported BJP in past, they are angry because of Tapi River Ring project, which BJP was forced to cancel.
But
the Maldari...
You're right, Rohan Gupta, you're right in your assessment. But then isn't it also true that, there is an understanding and a stock-taking exercise, which is why we are seeing that the BJP has hit the ground running in Gujarat at a time that they have. Ajay Umat, do you want to come in here? Because I think in a certain sense, what we are witnessing from what is happening in Gujarat, with the Prime Minister visiting ever so often, the Home Minister being there, all of these, this big infrastructure push, Prime Minister taking the report card, is that it is a stock-taking exercise. The BJP in a certain sense has identified its weaknesses and is working to address it. Which are the parties there to oppose them?
Absolutely correct. This is 17th visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi after March 11. as soon as Uttar Pradesh and other 5 state election results came, on the very next day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to Ahmedabad and Amit Bhai came on 12th of March. And from that day onwards till today, this was his 17th visit in Gujarat, which speaks volumes about how much BJP is worried and they don't want to take any chance in Gujarat. They are very well aware about the issues of water shortage in Gujarat due to the summer, because Nabda Dam, which is the biggest dam, does not have more than 30% capacity. They don't have water to provide irrigation scheme. There is an electricity crisis in Gujarat, price rise, petrol, diesel, inflation, unemployment, all these issues they are aware. They also know that tribal voters are unhappy with BJP, but very smartly BJP is trying their best to do the political arithmetics. They are talking about development and other aspects, but at the same time they are managing caste equations very well. Naresh Patel, who was supposed to join Congress party, did not join because BJP managed some pressure tactics, and Hardik Patel, who was the face of Congress party as Patidar leader, has joined, is likely to join. I am telling you on this channel on 30th, he is joining Bharatiya Janata Party in presence of Purushottam Rupala and Mansukh Mandavia. So
we'll
BJP
call you,
is very, very
we'll
smart.
Call you Ajay Umat, we'll call you Ajay Umat on the 30th if indeed that news is confirmed. PKD Namdar, you wanted to come in.
See, I think if this is the logic that a Prime Minister or an Amit Shah or the senior BJP leaders are going to Gujarat, is the only reason for them to go to Gujarat is only the election, then in that case, just 2 days back, the Prime Minister was in Hyderabad, and in 30,000 plus crore rupees of a project, he launched in Tamil Nadu in the presence of M.K. Stalin. So that Tamil Nadu is not going for any election. Tamil Nadu is not even ruling, not even a major opposition party. I think these are just a channel discussion purpose. You can discuss it, but then the bottom line is that Prime Minister
as
of India
Ajay Umat said, there's nothing
places.
wrong with the Prime Minister or the Home Minister visiting poll-bound states. I mean, this is the election machinery of the BJP, and this is how they work.
Nothing wrong, but in 4.5 years,
5 days.
Just count the visit in 4.5 years and count the visit in last 3 months.
No, 1 second. 5 days, the Home Minister was in the Northeast. Does that mean that the Northeast is going for an election? No, I think, come on. I think for BJP, Gujarat is, we all know that it is a home turf of, in a way, for both these leaders, and there is not even a major opposition this time around. No Ahmed Patel, no Shankar Singh Baghela in Gujarat, no Hardik Patel. So, and Congress is already diminishing. 11 MLAs, I think Ajay ji can confirm that more than 11 MLAs from the last time to now has even moved out of Congress. Where is the Congress? Congress is not there. And as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned,
I think the way Ajay Umat has described the statistics of the Prime Minister's visit post Uttar Pradesh elections and compared it to how many times he's visited Gujarat in the last 3 years does in a certain sense indicate that of course the focus is going to shift to Gujarat, and nothing wrong with that. But like I said at the very outset, I think it is an acknowledgement of some of the areas where the party needs to perhaps work, and it's looking to fill those gaps. It is a prestige battle at the end of the day, both for the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. It's a story we're going to continue to track in the run-up to the Gujarat elections. Thank you all very much for joining us.